Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another weekly live stream here from the tiny house. Things are a little bit different today, as you can maybe just about see, but we can get to that in a minute. Otherwise, let me know you can see and hear me okay. And I see people are joining from all sorts of different places. I have my screen off until the side here, so I'm looking a little bit out of the way a little bit today, but you know, we'll get there eventually. Let me see where people came in from. Hello from Edinburgh, and here's one from Swedish West Coast. Hello from Russia, and from Finland and South Wales, and yeah, I can see people can see and hear me okay now, which is excellent. I'm just making sure that all works while I sort of get things going, and then I can take you on a little usual tour of the setup. If you're new around here, welcome. Thanks for joining live. I saw someone say already that they are the first time joining live, which is excellent. For the next 30 minutes or so, we'll just chit chat, and I'll talk about a few bits and pieces I've been up to over the week and some updates, and then I'll take some questions and answers, and then after that I'll go into post-show and we can do some more casual Q&A section. But for the next 30 minutes, we're in show mode, and we're talking about whatever you want to talk about. So stack up any questions that you might have on whatever the topic is, and be sure to try to include at here to record so it comes up even bigger on my screen over here. And I did see that, Randy already said you need to set up a globe just like Aaron, because I asked where people are coming in from. I mostly asked that so I could see the crowd. So if you haven't seen this feature, it's a brand new feature in here, H2R graphics. The reason it's not quite out there yet is because of a few little bugs that I found, or other people found, throughout the last 7 days, and I haven't had too much time to take a look at it in the last 7 days. So I've been trying to fix a few things, but this crowd section shows up in H2R graphics whenever people chat in the crowd. So all the profile pictures are showing up at the bottom there. So that's a little look at the feature that I mentioned last week. If you want to learn more about that, you can check out last week's stream, definitely. But yeah, I have moved things around a little bit today. I can actually give you a little quick behind the scenes look at that real quickly. I'll let my camera power on here, and then I'll just sort of show you what gear I'm using today. The gear itself isn't terribly different than last week. So let me just get this shot looking okay, and we'll cut to that. So there's the camera angle, and I'll just hide the crowd just for a second. I've got my usual C-Tech monitor that I'm using these days to monitor everything on the multi-view, and then below that I have the XL Stream Deck, and this is all running over with Companion, and it's also running on a Raspberry Pi too. Something that I am working on a video for on how to do this kind of stuff, but it's not connected to my PC or my Mac or anything. It's just connected to a Pi. It's a fairly simple setup, but I think there's some people that don't know yet that that's even possible. So come to that. And then the box is pretty much the same as it was last time. It's very DIY, and you can see in here the ATEM is living in there. And then what I wanted to try and do this time was, I can't quite get a good shot of it, but I wanted to mount everything. So you can see here I've got the camera mounted on top of this box where I had my laptop last time. And then right next to that, you can see that there's a big arm going all the way up here. And that is the new microphone that I have been using for this. I'll be using for this stream. Hopefully tweak it over time and make it sound even better. But I basically plugged it in about 30 minutes ago for real, and tried getting the sound right. So it probably doesn't sound great today, but I'm sure over time we can tweak it. But this is the Rode what's it called? Video Mic NTG. There's a link below this this video for that microphone if you want to learn a bit more about it. And I'll go back to this camera for now. And then I have my GH5 above that. And the only other thing I didn't show, I suppose, was off to the side here I have my laptop with a few extra bits and pieces like the chat. And then I was playing with this a little bit today. If I can grab it. This is the, oh, I don't know if I can get a good focus on it. This camera does not really like to focus so keenly. Well, you can see it. It's the Epiphan Pearl Nano. So I've been testing that out a little bit for the joint stream that we're going to do on this Friday. So it really doesn't want to focus on that. It's just a grey box, I suppose. It's not really going to give me a good focus point. Doesn't matter. So that's the Epiphan Pearl Nano, which is the smallest in their sort of Pearl range, hence the name Nano. And what it lets you do is many things, and Aaron does have a good video about the features of it. But what I'm specifically interested in is that it's an SRT encoder and decoder, so I can contribute to people's productions or have them contribute to my productions with this over SRT, something that I'm definitely just starting to get into, so I don't have all the answers just yet. But I was playing with it a little bit today to see if I could get it to work, because on Friday, me and Photo Joseph and Aaron are all going to do a stream together, plus a potential another guest, but I'm not sure if that's 100% confirmed just yet. So the three of us, maybe the four of us, will do the next step in our 3 friends and a ... series. So I'll post a video link to that in the next day or two, and I'm sure those other guys will too. But that'll be this Friday at approximately this time in the day. So whatever time it is right now for you, I think it probably already started by now, or we're halfway through it, but roughly around this time of day. But like I said, I'll have a link to that. So that's kind of the setup I'm using today, and it hasn't changed. It's just twisted around. So usually you're looking that direction along the house, and today you're just looking at me sitting by the window. And we might have to fight the sun. As you can see there, the sun is kind of going down that way behind me. So as the day progresses, it might get in my head a little bit. But I wanted to try this out. I'm keen to join. I don't really want to use all of this setup, but whenever I join more professional meetings, or I join maybe other people's streams, I don't necessarily want to take up the whole house every single time. I just want like a sort of more subtle, casual view of the house. So that's kind of what I was going for today with this. So I think that pretty much covers the setup that I'm using. And I do see a few bits and pieces and questions popping in and all that stuff. Yes, Mike, you were the one who I was thinking of earlier. First time catching you live. Thanks for the reminder to turn on notifications. If you haven't done that already, then this would be a good chance to do that for the next time I go live. This will be great background noise. I like that I'm your background noise. This will be great background noise whilst I finish up pre-production for tomorrow's show. Great. You can listen to me ramble on and possibly distract you while you're trying to prepare for a show, definitely. And Jonas is watching from a train, which I tend to watch a lot of my live streams that way too. There's always a train trip somewhere involved. Lots of people said, "Oh, stunning fidelity on this one." I'm guessing you mean the new sound setup. I'm happy to see that it sounds good. So that's excellent. I can see the sun's already fighting me here, but that doesn't matter. I think we can live with that just for this one time. And hello, window, exactly. All's fine, all fine. I'm just catching back up on the chat that happened, what time is it now? Like 10 minutes ago, saying that everything sounds good. So I'm happy to hear that everything sounded good 10 minutes ago. Yes, Aaron, the new camera angle, exactly. I think I've explained that now a little bit. Scroll. I kind of weird to change the setup, but I think I'll probably change it quite a lot over the next coming weeks. I think I've explained before, but ideally what I want to do is have fewer things on this table and more things in a cupboard. And then I only really want to have maybe the stream deck and the monitor and the camera here beside me. And I want the ATEM and all that stuff to be somewhere else, because I don't need to have direct contact with it. It'll be much faster setup times if I can just pull out fewer things. So that's where I'm kind of aiming towards. And HDMI cables is the only problem right now. The length that I have are not good enough. Otherwise, I would probably have done it today, but we're not quite there yet. Hello from people are coming from all over the place, which is great. Skipping down a little bit. Can you name all the species of fish on the poster in the background? No. Well, I guess I technically could, because all the names, you can't quite see it, but the name is written underneath each one of them, so I could just name them out. Unfortunately, the names are in Swedish, so I might butcher the pronunciations of a few of them. Jonas wants to know any updates on the merch. I guess yes and no. I'm still waiting to hear back from... Actually, this is a good test. So, depending on where you're watching from, what you should be able to do is, some of you will be able to go to this link. I'll post it in a second in the chat. Some of you should be able to go to this link and see some merch. Now, this is kind of something that I'm just testing out, and if you want to get some, I definitely encourage and appreciate it. But I'm just sort of testing this out. So if you were to go to this link, did I paste the right link? Yes. If you're outside of Europe, if you're in North America, most likely, you will see that this link works, and you might see some items in there. But if you're not, if you're in Europe and stuff, you probably won't see anything on that link. So I would like to hear what people see on that link, and I'm kind of trying to work with YouTube to fix the problem, because I don't want to have like several merch stores for different places in the world. So tell me in the chat here, what do you see whenever you click that link? That would be really helpful. And if you want to get some official I'm here to record merch, then I encourage it. Definitely encourage it. That's for sure. So let me see. Scanning all down a little bit. Like I said, I don't have too much of crazy updates. Oh, thank you so much, Ike, for a contribution for the long HDMI cables. Yeah, whenever, this is like on Aaron's stream a week or two ago, whenever people were encouraging him to pay for postage to send me a stand. It hasn't came yet, but I know it's on the way. So this is what I need now, is a fund for HDMI cables. But I'm hoping that I can use SDI cables in the house instead, trying to get some thin ones of those to do a few runs back and forth. So maybe I won't need too many HDMI, but there's always more stuff involved whenever I want to convert to SDI. Excuse me. But I appreciate the super chat either way. Really kind of you. Thank you. Let me see. I'll maybe look back to any specific questions in a minute, because I just wanted to talk about H2R SuperSource Layouts. I'm just going to bring that up and then show it now. PC, there we go. So I did post a new update to H2R SuperSource Layouts this week, which is quite nice. A feature that I wanted to add from the start, but I didn't really have time, which was the ability to upload a foreground or background image. So now, I think it's this one. I can upload a foreground or background image. So in here, you can see I have little cutouts for an image. And if I open that, now you can see that there's like, this is just a PNG image with these pieces blacked out. And a border around the outside. They're not blacked out, they're alpha. That's what I'm trying to say. So now what you can do is upload that image, and then you can see there, if you hover over it, the image gets out of your way a little bit. And there's much more fine control of size as well. So now I can do that. I can come in and put the camera 1 behind there, and then I can turn on camera 2, put it up there maybe, make it a little bit bigger. Something like that will do just something like that will do just fine. Mess with it a little bit, and now you can see that I have used a PNG, which I could easily bring that PNG into my H2R. It's not part of the macro just yet. Right now the macro still only shows the 2 boxes, but what you can do is bring that PNG into your H2R's media pool, and then you could just use that as the foreground image of this. So it kind of helps you lay stuff out. And there is one more option in here, is you can see this little purple box now is hidden out of view, but I can move the image to the back. So this is perfect for if you don't necessarily want to punch out certain pieces. Instead, you just want to put an image right at the background that happens to have maybe some name graphics or something on it, whatever your use case may be. And then you can move the graphic to the picture to the back, or bring it to the front again and have a look at it like that. Or I can remove it altogether. I just thought I would quickly throw that little update out there so you can see what's brand new in SuperSource Layouts. That's only slightly a mouthful, that product name. Let's just bring on the little crowd again here. I quite like to have this up. I won't let it get as high as it did last time, but I quite like to have it up as like a little look and see who's sticking around and watching. I can see a lot of familiar faces, which is always nice. Question from Peter: whenever I use Companion together with the Stream Deck software, it won't change internal pages on Mac M1. Just Companion solo does it. Any ideas? I actually have not got my hands on an M1 just yet, so I'm not sure. You might want to try updating to the latest build just to make sure. I was having some issues with my Companion Pi version. I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, where I would add actions and it wouldn't make any difference, and then I just happened to update it today to the latest version, and all of the actions that got added that didn't work, they all just suddenly appeared in there broken, and I was able to delete them, and everything works as I expect it to now. So I would recommend trying to grab the latest version. With the M1 stuff, since it is new-ish still, there might be some weird bugs and edge cases that they haven't actually figured out or included in the latest release yet. So let me know how that goes. Hopefully they can fix it if it's a real issue. Daft Cat Brewing says, I like the idea of connecting the Stream Deck to a Pi instead of the main PC. Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be the most epic tutorial video on how to do it, because I, number one, don't know a whole lot about Raspberry Pi development, and number two, it's basically just following a guide. In fact, I even remember Aaron did mention in a few months ago in one of his videos that he didn't make a video about it because it's just sort of, I just followed the guide. Which what this video will be is kind of like, oh, I just followed the guide. But I think, like you said there, you didn't really know it was, or you didn't really think about it as an option. So it's kind of just like a reminder, by the way, you can do this. Well, this is a cute rig thing. Exactly. So I'm hoping that once I get the setup to be less, plywood, wooden, and shrink it down a little bit, I basically built it based on a few pieces of wood I had left over with minimal cuts because I didn't want to do too much cutting. So I think I can make it better over time. Definitely. Audio sounds solid. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. It is pretty weird to, well, audio EQ / effects on yourself as you listen and as the time clock ticks down. So I'm glad it kind of worked out okay. I should have put my light to be a little bit more bright, but it'll be okay. Let's see what else is popping in on the old chat. See lots of chit chat back and forth, which is nice. Probably too close for that lens. Maybe. I think I'm probably not fully in focus, and I may not have put enough light in it. Well, I don't know. We'll see about that. You could be talking about something else. Yeah, maybe you're talking about something else. Oh, and M1 fund from DM. This could take a while. Yeah, I think I'm going to need an order of magnitude more people super chatting to get my M1 fund going, but that's a good start. So far I've got a part of a HDMI cable and a small part of a M1 computer. Very nice. It's something I can work towards. Ivan said, SRT is insane. 2 seconds delay via cellular internet back to me on the mixer. Call me amazed. Yeah, I've been quite interested with SRT in general. I think what I've seen before testing it is it's one of those things that doesn't really get explained that well in general. It's not that people don't explain it well, it's just sort of, it seems like a really technical thing that you need to go and figure out. And much like when you start using the ATEM, for example, or stuff like that, whenever I started using it years ago, no one had really made that many videos about it and things like that. So it hasn't really made its way down to like understandability just yet. For my case, I'm looking up videos on SRT and I'm still not finding the answers that I think I should be able to find. So hopefully if I can get more used to it and other people get more used to it, we can all make more content about it and more instructional videos about it. And then over time, it'll make much more sense. So I'm still learning very much about it, but I'm very impressed by it. And I want to know more, definitely. Charles says, tell us more about using Companion without a computer. Maybe I will hold off on that until I've made the video about me using it. But in a nutshell, do I even have it here? No, I don't think I have a button for it. But Companion, you can load, you can download an image from the Bitfocus GitHub, which is an image that you can load onto an SD card into a Raspberry Pi. And then when you boot up that Raspberry Pi and on the same network, you can just access the interface. So if I do have my my PC here, so I can show that real quickly. You can see here that actually I'll just take away the crowd again just for a quick moment. You can see here that I have the very fresh and new version of Companion running here, which is quite a nice refreshing change, I will say. So in this instance, I have went to the IP address on my local network that the Companion Pi is running on. So it looks basically the exact same as running it here on my PC, but instead, just a quick side note, thank you for becoming a new member, Daft Cat Brewing. I really appreciate it. Very kind of you to sign up as a Helping Hand member. Welcome to the membership. So I was just saying that it looks the exact same as I'll get back to this on the main video, I think, but basically it functions the exact same, and as long as you set a static IP address for the computer, the Raspberry Pi in this case, then it just works every time you turn it on, and there's no real surprises at all, which is really nice. Let me see. I did lose my place in the chat, which is always what you want. Finding my way back to where I was. And I did also see Peter. It's weird that I can't see it in my. This could be a funky bug that I need to fix, but I see Peter give a super chat as well, which is really appreciated. Thank you so much. It didn't trigger anything, and it also didn't make its way into H2R graphics for some reason, but I see it in the YouTube interface. So thank you so much for the super chat. I will be sure to also put that towards either the cables or the M1, whichever one I achieve first. We'll see. Let me see, where was I in the chat and what was I even talking about? Companion. Yeah, I'll definitely make more videos about that for sure. And it's time for some curtains. It is time for some sort of blinds of some sort. We have talked about that a lot. Spring kind of snuck up on me, so I wasn't quite ready for that. That's for sure. And you need a green screen behind you. That would be a shame to take away this nice. Maybe what I need is a like a ND tinting on the window. I know where I can get some of that, so maybe I should get some of that instead. It'd be really nice to dull down the window. It wouldn't look so good during the rest of the day, but maybe I can pull down some sort of ND if I want to shoot these videos here. And yes, don't forget to leave a like. Exactly. Wow, time's already really disappearing too. Did I talk about everything I wanted to talk about today? Well, the two main things I wanted to update today before time runs out was just that H2R SuperSource Layouts update and the live stream happening on Friday evening / night for me, maybe Friday morning / midday for you. But more details will come on that in the Discord and stuff like that. So stay tuned in there, and I'll just keep on working my way down here until I see more questions. SRT is really cool. We do a lot of remote contribution stuff over SRT. Larix Broadcaster is, we've got a lot of names here. Oh, it went too fast. Yes, a contribution app for iOS. It's totally worth a look. Yeah, I think I've noticed there's that Rivet app as well. Steve, thank you for the super chat as well. Super chats need some confetti. Thanks for all the effort and info. thank you for the super chat. Maybe the buying some confetti can be another thing I'll save up my money to do. Yeah, so I need to check out that Larix broadcaster, and I also want to check out the Rivet app from the LiveX people, because I'm quite interested in this kind of world of cloud production and linking people together from all sorts of places. I think I'll make some we'll have some live streams about that pretty soon, about making this show happen in a very different way from the cloud, and I'll take you through what I've learned so far and where that's going, I think, and some exciting things ahead. So we'll get back to that, and SRT will play very heavily into that for sure. First time joining live, excellent, looks good. What do you use for chat pop-ups? Companion. This is not Companion, this is H2R Graphics. If you check out hereToRecord.com/graphics, you'll see the app, and in there you can just add YouTube chat. I've made videos about it on the channel as well, and it's a fairly simple way. Once you get your Google API key, and there's documentation on that, you can just show chat that comes in via YouTube, so it works pretty nicely. But it's not linked to Companion in any way right now. Yeah, exactly, Steve. If only I had some kind of stand for my ATEM. Yeah, I'm excited to get it, definitely. And now that I want to put the ATEM in the cupboard, the stand will have to be featured very heavily in its first few weeks, and then it might sadly make its way into the cupboard. I know Aaron won't be happy to hear that after all the effort, but I'll be sure to I'll make at least 1 or 2 streams where it's sitting in a prime position, and I really get to look at it before I hide it. We'll see about that. Rowan wants to know, how do you find using a small monitor for your multi-view, for jobs, etc.? Would you still use it, or a larger? Would you still use it, or would you use a larger monitor? Exactly. I'm just going to fix something real quickly. I'm going to make my my chat stay on screen just a bit longer, because I was playing and they disappear a bit too fast. Yeah, in the past, I've made videos in the past where I showed using a 5 or even 7-inch screen for multi-view. At the time, I was more than happy with that, because I used to look in my cameras, which were right beside me. It was all very solo production. So the camera was there, and I looked up at the camera, and I was happy to know that the camera was where it should be. And the multi-view was just sort of like proof that it was still working, just at a glance. Still working, yes, not for focus. So 7 and 5-inch monitors worked fine then. I will say though, now that the ATEM Mini Extreme and the multi-view becomes a little more complicated, and you start to care about things like the on-air indication and the recording indicator. This stuff didn't exist whenever I was starting with the ATEM. So you didn't really need to see that kind of small text level of detail. But now that I see it, and I'm looking down at it here, now that I see it, I think I need a bigger monitor, definitely. I probably would say like 10 inches is about where I would call it a limit, unless you're sitting really close or you really don't look at your multi-view very much at all. But I think 10 inch maybe is about where I would go. I don't remember what size this is, but yeah, I'd probably try to go above 10 if you can. And then there's also an upper limit. Unless the monitor's pretty far away, I wouldn't really go much bigger than like 24 or whatever the standard size is-ish of monitors these days. I don't remember. But there's a sort of an upper limit too, where it starts to not matter so much unless you have a really good quality screen. HDMI over fiber cables are surprisingly cheap. Maybe by the time of this stream is over, I can afford a couple of HDMI fiber cables. That might be quite nice to have. I'm just gonna fix something while I'm here chit-chatting. Fixed. Exactly, they are pretty cheap though, which I'm thinking about. But whenever I get the cupboard stuff sorted, I'll probably make more comments about that kind of stuff. You shouldn't tell me anymore that the names are... We're talking about the fish again. Yes, the names are written back there. I see nothing from Russia. Hopefully everything... Oh yeah, okay, so we're finally in the question that I answered. I'm going to wrap up the main show with the answer to the question that I had, which was, when you clicked on the link for the merch, what did you see? And it looks like there was no merch in Europe, and nothing in the US either. But from Denmark, you could see it. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. That was this kind of exactly what I thought would happen. So I'm not surprised. That's to say the least. I'm not surprised. So I'm working on that. That's the merch discussion that we had earlier. I'll get back to you on how that goes, because I'm keen to have some fun stuff out there for sure. Actually, if you stick around for the post show, I will include a link to the official store. So I'm going to go into the post show now in a few seconds, and if you stick around for the post show, I will post a link. That'll be my job for the day, and then you can actually check out the merch, give me some feedback, buy some if you want, but just jump in there and take a look. Otherwise, I guess we'll wrap up the main show. Stick around for the post show. If you're watching live, you can stick around. There's no problem. If you're watching on demand, the post show is for members only, so you can become a member and watch the post show on demand. Otherwise, I'll see you in a few seconds to talk more about this fun stuff. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.